Bitcoin has hit 118k. Everyone's expecting bullish price action for the month of October. We had bearish price action and mini crash in the market in October. However, was that the real crash that we were expecting? Is that the trigger for the alt season? I don't think so. So what I'm going to go over within the next 10 minutes is my analysis and my forecast for what I'm expecting to happen for the month of October. So what we can see on the monthly time frame on the total market cap chart is we've had a sweep of liquidity in July. We've had a sweep of liquidity in August, but we failed to close above this level. Now, for the month of September, we swept liquidity around this area and we finally closed above it. This is a good sign. This is a sign to tell us we are ready to move to the upside. However, we won't have an alt season until we get mass capitulation, mass liquidation. And I've been calling this in my channel for quite a while now, if you've been watching my videos. What I'm expecting for the month of October, and it's currently happening right now, is a move to the upside first. And there's a possibility of us sweeping the all-time high. This is going to be dominantly based on Ethereum. And then we're going to have a rollover to the downside. Now, the rollover to the downside could be quite aggressive. And the levels that I'm looking at, the first targets are around 3.56 to 3.45. Now, this is my first target. My second target would be the midpoint of this dealing range. And that would be bang on around 3.23. Now, this will be your first sign to buy. This will be your second sign to buy. There's always a possibility we can come all the way back down to around these levels. If we come back down to these levels, this is probably your final opportunity and your best opportunity for you to buy your altcoins. Remember, on the way down, we should be considering dollar cost averaging. Now, if we just go into the weekly time frame, what we can see is this wick down here. So that wick, which was towards the back end of September, liquidated quite a lot of the levels over the last 3 to 4 weeks, but we did not come into the levels that we were expecting yet. Now, like I said to you, there's a possibility, and it's very likely, that price is going to come to the upside and take out this liquidity above down here. On the daily time frame, what we can see is price has come into a key level. So just before we go into this area down here, what we can see is a market maker sell model, and we fail to fulfill the sell model completely. So therefore, there is a possibility we can still come to the downside. However, before we do that, I want to see how price reacts from this area. We've had a rejection of the 78.6 level, which is around 4 trillion, a psychological level, which aligns nicely to where BTC is at right now at 118k, and we rejected. Given that we've had a rejection from this, I'm still expecting some move to the upside. But could we come back down and take some form of liquidity first? Here's an order block here. There's also a fair value gap down here. Could we come within these levels first and then bolster upwards more? Let's put on an OTE level within this area so it matches up nicely within our fair value gap. There is a possibility that we can come to this area first and then move back up. Now, like I said to you, my targets are still to the downside. I'm thinking this move will happen in the beginning of October, within the first 1 to 2 weeks. Once we get the move and the sweep of the highs down here, I'm expecting price to come to the downside. There is always a possibility we can reverse from these areas and not grab liquidity from this area down here and just come down from where we are right now. Now, if we just go over to the BTC chart on the monthly time frame, what I've done is I've got a dealing range from the current area of this swing low to this swing high. My first target, I said to you guys from the beginning, is 100k. I want to see BTC tap into 100k. Now, it all depends on what the total market cap chart is going to do, because if we go lower, there's a possibility for us to also go lower on BTC towards the regions of 97 to 95, even 94k. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, what we can see is that BTC, similarly to the total market cap, rejected off this area down here, and we've had a wick to the upside last week. Now, given the fact on the daily time frame that we've finally rejected off this key level down here, 118k, which I was calling out for quite a while, we've taken out liquidity from here. There's a possibility for rollover to the downside first, similarly to how we have it on the total market cap chart, into this order block or this fair value gap that we have down here, and a slight move higher. I do think that this is a fake move that we're having right now and a rejection. So there's a possibility of us to come to the downside first, then move up into these areas down here, deeper into this region, taking out all of the liquidity from this area, and then moving to the downside. Now, what we can also see is this market maker sell model, which also didn't get fulfilled. So we can expect, also anticipate another market maker sell model. So if we can get a move like this, then a move up, we may be able to see something like this then to the downside. So we have the buy side and we have the sell side. If we get something like this, I'm definitely shorting around this region. I said it to you from the beginning. I want to look around this area to short, and I'll keep you guys updated. I think this down here is a fake rejection of this OTE level right now. I want to see us go a bit more deeper, taking out liquidity from above. Again, targets are 100k. All right, last but not least, let's look at where Ethereum is. Okay, on the monthly time frame, what you can see is we've taken out all-time highs in August. We've swept the liquidity. We've closed below. We've got this dealing range from this low down here to this high down here. I'm expecting Ethereum, like I said to you in the beginning of the month, to actually move up and sweep liquidity, taking out the all-time highs first. And that will follow nicely with the total market cap chart also moving to all-time high. I'm then expecting a move to the downside, taking out at least the midpoint of this dealing range within the regions of around 3,300 to, let's just call it around 3,000 psychological level. Now, if we was just forecast the candle of the monthly time frame for October, there's a possibility we'll get a wick and then we'll get a body down here and a rejection. So the body can look like this, a slight wick to the downside and a huge wick to the upside. And I'm expecting for the month of November and December the move up to the upside, and that's the official alt season. From a psychology perspective, you got to think about what people are expecting. They're always expecting, and they're still expecting the move to the upside. But what we want to have first is the mass capitulation and the mass liquidations of these key levels. We will never get the alt season when people are expecting it. And that's what you want to be careful of. On the weekly time frame, we've seen a rejection of the 78.61 to 78.6 level OTE and that order block. Beautiful buy entry down here. If you was taking the longs down here, it's a fantastic entry, and I will be targeting at least this high down here. Now, what we can expect is liquidity to get taken out, move to the upside, market maker, buy model down here. On the daily time frame, things are looking pretty good. So if I was to just remove this, what we can see is price from this swing high to this swing low. This is the dealing range. We're coming into some key PD arrays. We're already in this fair value gap down here. I expect price to come a bit more deeper into this level, tapping possibly into that order block, and then coming a bit lower, tapping into this order block down here, and then we bolster to the upside. And this could be a short-term buy for quite a lot of the altcoins. Now, keep in mind, the altcoins that I told you guys that I'm buying, I've bought at a very, very low price. So I will likely sell some of my altcoins depending on how we move to the upside on Ethereum and the alts. And when we have the rollover to the downside, I will buy them again, and I'll buy them at a better price with more capital. So that's my forecast over the next month. Bitcoin, Ethereum, total market cap, things are looking great. We're almost there. So we just need to be a bit more patient. Now, if there's any other types of videos or analysis you guys want to see, just give me a shout, let me know, and I'll add it in to the next video. If you like these types of videos, I trade crypto using the ICT strategy. So smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.